Let me ask you something. If a 30-day cleanse really worked, why do people keep needing to do another one? And a second, and a third, and a fourth? That question tells us almost everything we need to know. Today, I'm answering this question. Do 30-day cleanses actually fulfill a promise, or are they a gimmick quietly working against our metabolism and long-term health? And if you're wondering why I'm the one to talk about this, I've spent over 2 decades coaching adults through midlife and beyond. And I've lived this myself. I've made myself my own science experiment. I've seen what actually works and what keeps people unknowingly sabotaging their health year after year. In this video, I'm going to give you 3 things. First, why cleanses feel like they work in the beginning. The second, what they're really doing inside your body, especially to your liver and your metabolism. And the third one, what actually works if your goal is lasting health, not a reset that you have to keep repeating again and again. Now, to be honest, this isn't about judgment. It's about clarity, because your body doesn't need rescuing. It needs understanding. Here's something I say often. Fast doesn't last. Wellness is not a sprint. It's not a 7-day reset. It's not even a 30-day miracle diet. Real health is a long game. Now, what I mean by that is anything that you take on needs to be something you could realistically do, not perfectly, but consistently for years, not weeks. Otherwise, it's not a lifestyle change. It's just a quick fix. Now, to be fair, people will say, but Janet, I lost weight on a cleanse. Yes, you probably did. But let's talk about what you actually lost. When you suddenly slash calories and replace meals with juices and liquids, eliminate all carbs, or rely on green powders and miracle pills, that early weight loss is, first of all, water and energy in the form of glycogen. And if this goes on longer than a couple of days or perhaps a weekend, unfortunately, bye-bye muscle. And when muscle goes, you know what happens. Your resting metabolic rate falls to allow your body to conserve energy. It's saying, I'm here to save you from dying of starvation. In doing that, your body becomes more efficient at storing fat the next time you eat a normal, even healthy meal. That's not failure. That's biology. It's hardwired through the survival of our ancestors. This is how they made it through periodic famines, and you're living proof today to tell about it. Your body is just being careful. Let me give you a familiar example. Remember the last time you had a bad stomach bug? For a few days, all you ate were saltine crackers and ginger ale and maybe a little applesauce. Day 4 arrives. You're starting to feel a little more like yourself. So you step on the scale all wobbly and weak and think, wow, this really worked. I lost 6 pounds. We even joke about it sometimes about how flu is a great diet. Then you recover and you eat one normal healthy meal again, and then you eat another meal, and suddenly, after a day or 2, you notice the weight has all come back. And sometimes, even with a few extra pounds, a couple of weeks later. That's not fat gain from one meal. It's a healthy meal. That's water replacement plus a metabolism that slowed down to protect you while you healed. I mean, this is a good example of what happens when you get the flu and you have to drop back your calories. You're just not hungry and you're trying to stay hydrated, but that's about it. Interestingly, cleanses trigger the exact same mechanism. Your body doesn't think wellness when you're going on a cleanse. It thinks famine might be on the horizon. I'll save you. Now, here's the other real issue with ritual cleanses. They don't teach you what to do after. I mean, what would make sense, of course, is to return to your normal, healthy regimen, if you have one. And I'm making a guess here that if you're listening to me right now, you probably have one, or you're striving toward it, you're figuring it out, so you're on the journey. But this begs the question, doesn't it? Why not just start there? Why not just start eating that healthy regimen? Now, we've talked before about finding a nutritional approach that's sustainable for the long haul, healthy and strong for years to come. If a cleanse truly lined up with that philosophy, if it actually taught sustainable habits, you would never have to do a second one. You would just keep going. You would not need an annual one. You would not need a post-holiday one. Not just a jump start, Janet, and then I'll get back on track after. What if you just got back on track? After a week of feasting with friends and family, what if you simply return to what really works? Let your body take its time mopping things up with real food, adequate fuel, and patience. But that's not how it usually goes, because quick fixes don't build skills. They build a dependency. I'll go ahead and just tie one on this weekend, and then I'll do a cleanse on Monday. Now we need to talk about the most misunderstood organ in the wellness culture. Get ready. Your liver. We tend to think that we need to rush in and rescue our liver. We overdid it. We had the cake and the champagne. Poor liver. Let me help you clean this up quickly. But here's a reality check. Your liver is extremely intelligent. It's not stupid. It's not lazy. It's not confused or incapable. And it definitely is not sitting around waiting for a green juice you give it to save it. Your liver is the CEO of fat burning and performs over 500 essential functions every single day. Pop wellness culture paints it as helpless and sells you a cleanse as the hero rushing in. But here's the truth. If your liver truly needs your intervention, you don't need a cleanse at that point. You need a hospital. That's a real emergency if your liver is failing at its job. Otherwise, your liver already knows how to detoxify all by itself. Just get out of the way and eat the way you're supposed to and drink the way you're supposed to. It just needs steady, reliable, reasonable support. So, what actually supports your liver? Real food, wholesome fuel, adequate calories, consistent, clean eating. Strength training? Yes, that matters here. Quality sleep, adequate hydration, i.e. real water. And now that the holidays are past, we can reduce or eliminate chronic overindulgence, all the rich food, all the adult beverages. We can still have an occasional enjoyment, but just the chronic overindulgence is the part that really kind of bogs the body down. Your liver doesn't need punishment. It needs your predictability. And it certainly doesn't need you stepping in with a concoction sold by companies that profit from misunderstanding of how the liver actually works. When you overindulge once in a while, the solution is not a cleanse. The solution is simply go back to eating clean. Your liver can handle that. So, if you are thinking of experimenting with a 30-day cleanse, here's a better question to ask. What am I willing to do after this is over? Because if nothing changes afterwards, then the cleanse isn't going to help at all. Your body is a living diary of the last 6 to 12 months of your habits, and it never lies. Trying to erase the pages with a quick fix, only to repeat the same habits, that's not a smart strategy. It's not very kind to your liver either. So here's the takeaway. You don't need to cleanse your liver. You need to respect it, You need to understand what it really needs, not just give it what some supplement company tells you it needs. You don't need a jump start. I know that's a shocking thing to say in January. You need consistent habits and the patience to return to them. Watch your body turn around and go into a positive course just over the next couple of weeks of just doing what you know you're supposed to do. And your body will take care of it. And remember, fast doesn't last. The tortoise wins every time, you guys. If this helps you to think differently about cleanses, metabolism, or your liver health, subscribe and stay here with me. This channel is about building strength, clarity, and health that actually lasts. Your body isn't broken. It's asking you to slow down and listen.